What would you say to him today if you could?
If I could see him today, I'd kick him. I'd give him a hug first. Dave was a big hugger. Whenever you've seen him, he's going to give you a hug.
I'm a big hugger
I just
as well.
told his wife that last week, actually. Like, if heaven works the way I want it to work, and I get to see all those people again when I get up there, I'm going to give them a hug, tell them I love them, and then I'm going to beat the ever-living crap out of them.
Yeah. He's probably looking down like, damn it, man.
So
he's waiting for an ass kicking.
Tell him I love him, but then he's going to take it.
Hell yeah, man. But I mean, that sounds like the epitome of y'all's relationship, though, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, like I said, it was that first couple of weeks up until the wedding. Like, Dave was my guy.
Ready to roll?
Ready when you are.
All right. What is up, everybody? This is Joe Adams, and welcome to the Relentless Pursuit Podcast. What we do on this podcast is bringing guests from all different backgrounds, all different walks of life, to share their journey and everything along the way that led them to where they're at today. We're here to make an impact. We're here to connect, and that is what we do. So if that is for you, like, subscribe, all those damn things. And if that is not for you, I don't know what your problem is, but it's time to jump on board today. Thank you. But without further ado, I would love to introduce today's guest, Mr. Jason Cowman.
How y'all doing?
It's an honor to have you.
Glad to be here.
Hell yeah. Drove down from
right outside Elizabethtown, Kentucky.
Nice. So
just south of Louisville.
Oh yeah, a few hours away. So thank you for taking the time to be here today. I'm stoked to hear your journey and everything there in it. So yeah, man, it's good to have you.
Yep, excited to be here.
Hell yeah. Well, before we dive into your journey, I just want to tell the audience, just briefly touch on what it is you do today in your day-to-day life, like what that looks like, what you got going on, and then we'll take it back.
Yep, so as of today, we're about ready to launch a new Camo brand for hunting.
Nice.
It's been in the works since last July.
Okay.
But it was a dream 20 years ago. Just took us a while to come back around to it. So
yeah.
Right now we're through the sampling process and waiting on some more prototypes and about to launch for sales. So pretty excited about it. A high quality camo brand with a pattern you can hunt anywhere with, stay warm with anywhere.
Good deal.
But for a cheaper price than a lot of the competitors out there. So not cheap, but affordable.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I'm excited to check it out, especially when I stock up on some new hunting gear, get back out there. I'm going to have to get right for you guys.
Yep, definitely.
I'm going to be representing, man. I'm stoked for it.
There we go.
Hell yeah. So, well, you what I like about that, though, is, a lot of people have dreams and they never see them through. And 20 years later, you're seeing it through. And that's just cool because, like, you always maintain that vision, man. And a lot of people will just go through life and be like, it's just too much, that's too ambitious, but y'all are tackling it now, man. I appreciate that.
Yep.
So,
I mean, there's a lot of dreamers out there. There's only a couple doers.
Yeah, 100%, man. And, hopefully we can inspire people to go after it. Hopefully you and your story can. I'm sure it will. So that said, well, take us back. Take us back to the early days of Jason. Where you're from, a little bit of your childhood, some influences there, things you were into. Just touch on that and we'll work our way to where you're at today.
Yep, definitely. So I grew up in Southeast Ohio, small town, four-way stop, really. So four-way stop, gas station, bank, farm store, not a whole lot. Grew up.
Sounds pretty crazy.
Right there on my grandfather's farm. So
Nice.
When my dad got out of the Air Force, they bought a piece of property from him. So
Oh, cool.
spent a lot of time with him. I mean, as a kid, he was probably one of the most influential people.
Your grandfather?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I don't come from a broken family or anything. My family's together. I had a pretty easy childhood, actually. But since both parents worked, if I wasn't at school or I wasn't at practice for sports, I was with him on the farm. So
it was like simpler times.
Much easier.
Yeah, small town, living on the farm. I mean, it's hard work, I'm sure, but like it's simpler.
Yeah. Not a lot. You knew what you were doing each day. So
yeah, in today's day and age, living somewhere like this, man, it's easy to get caught up in way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to reflect on that and appreciate it. But
yeah, I mean, no smartphones, no internet, just late 80s, early through the 90s.
Yeah.
Just living. You were outside. You weren't inside playing video games all the time.
They have you doing a lot of work out there on the farm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially summers.
Is that where the size comes from? You just
A lot
feeding you
of it.
corn and
Yeah, a lot of it. Spent my summers on a hay wagon throwing hay bales.
they're like, oh, he's of good stock. He's a big boy. Let's make him carry the heavy shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that what it was?
I was actually pretty thin.
Oh, really?
Until about my sophomore year of high school. Like I was freshman year of high school, I was like 6'1", 6'2", like 135 pounds, and then came back sophomore year at 185, and then it just keep bouncing like that.
Big man.
Big
Hell
jumps.
Yeah, dude. That's how it goes. I was kind of small when I was a kid, and then I grew more right at that same time, man. Sophomore year of high school was just like sprout.
Yep.
Not quite to your size, but definitely a big jump from where I was. Hell yeah, man. You said you were into sports and stuff like that too?
Yep.
Yeah.
So pretty much anything you could play, I played growing up. So from football to baseball to basketball to running track, was always active. I mean, there wasn't anything else to do. You were either on the farm or maybe hanging out with some friends, or you were playing a sport. So
that was your childhood all the way through till
1999, graduated high school. But before then, my junior year, I joined the Army Reserves in 98. So between junior and senior year, I went to basic training and then came back to high school for a year, then went back to advanced individual training.
Oh, nice. Well, before we jump into that, you want to touch on any experiences like, something that's real that you can reflect on today that's been very impactful from maybe your grandfather or your family that's like just really stuck with you and who you are today.
So, I mean, growing up, my father was always he was on you to do work. He worked hard his whole life. He really showed you what it meant to work hard. From that to my grandfather also. I mean, he retired pretty early for then, like early 60s, and then just ran the farm.
Yeah.
So just watching him grind and work on the farm, no matter what day it was, what needed to be done, you were out there doing it, whether it was raining, whether it was hot, you were going to be getting done what needed done. So
that
just kind of stuck, and been doing it since.
Nice, man. Well, and that's very valuable stuff. It's very valuable. So, and that's something, like with all, I told you how much I work, like that's something really cool to think about is like my daughter's going to see that. Like she's going through it with me in a way. She isn't really aware, but she is. Does that make sense?
Yep,
so
for sure.
It's pretty cool. Like I know it impacts her. So there's no quitting because what does that teach her? No, she's never going to quit. And that's something I truly want her to.
Even as growing up, as she pushes back. So I've got a 22, 21-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Oh, shit.
My 22-year-old daughter who graduated from Western Kentucky last December.
Okay.
We've always had a good relationship and everything, but like before getting married in January, the letter that she gave me and what she had to say, like you just don't really know how much they're going to see it and how much it's going to touch them until they get a little older and they come back around full circle. Then you see how much they respect that hard work, and they did see it, even though you didn't think they seen it.
That's cool. That letter was pretty impactful.
Yeah, for sure.
I wish you could just like read it to us. No, that's private, man. It probably brought you tears.
Yeah, that might be a little hard.
Yeah, no. I mean, hell, trust me. If my daughter said like did something like that, I know I'd be in tears. But that's really beautiful, man. That's cool to see that they appreciate you and all you've done. So, and they gained something from lessons you didn't even realize you were teaching them.
Yep, for sure.
So with the military, you said you did that. Was that always a dream?
No. So a lot of people in my family were military from the past. I mean, my grandfather was in the Korean War. My dad was in the Air Force for a few years. He got out after 4 years, and then we went back to Ohio. But it was there, but it wasn't really something I inspired to do growing up. And then one day, my junior year, a recruiter called. It's like, hey, if you join the reserves, you only got to do this much time and this, and we're going to help pay for school. And I don't know. He sold me. He was a good salesman, I guess.
Pretty tough sell.
Signed up, and that's where it all started, and then went active in 2001.
Nice. Well, tell us about that, because coming from, pretty simple way of life, you're right in the mix with a bunch of different people
Yep.
from all over. You know how that is. So yeah, take us
So
down that journey.
after graduating, even though I was in the reserves, I went to college.
Okay.
And then met a girl there at the end of my freshman year, and kind of fell head over heels,
Yeah.
per se, and decided we wanted to start a family, and the military was already there, so went active.
Made sense, right?
Went active. I mean, I had 2 great kids with her.
Yeah.
Since divorced long time ago, but
Yeah.
that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But got the Fort Benning, and it was complete eye opener as far as a culture shock going from Southeast Ohio to Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
I mean, where I'm from in Ohio, I mean, we've got some diversity, but everybody's the same. Like, obviously racism is still a thing, not to get political about it or anything, but early 2000s, like where I grew up, it wasn't a thing. Everybody acted the same, didn't matter who you were.
Yeah.
Didn't matter what color you were. It's like it didn't exist.
That's interesting.
So throw 19-year-old, 20-year-old Jason into the deep South, where it's still definitely a thing and goes different directions.
Yeah.
Like it was a culture shock to walk up to ask somebody directions that didn't look like me and get looked at differently.
Yeah.
Just because.
Who the hell are you asking me questions?
I mean, it wasn't like that growing up. So
yeah, man, that's wild. And that wasn't too long ago.
no, figure 24 years ago.
Yeah, man, it's unfortunate, man. It seems like people are always going to like be at each other's throats. So
Well, I mean, good thing being when you were at work or in the Army, like nobody's seen it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was green.
yeah, exactly, man. That's something I always appreciate about too. What job did you go? What career field did you go into?
So I was an engineer.
Okay.
Went in as a horizontal construction engineer. So a lot of heavy equipment operating and building roads or upgrading roads
Okay.
or building bases downrange. But it's a very versatile field. So spent about half my career on the combat side of the combat engineer side. So
How'd you like
did
that?
a little bit of everything. I mean, the pace wasn't much different, but really after like 05, we kind of converted more into doing the route clearance job downrange and training for that rather than building stuff.
Damn, what was it? You know, did you get deployed a lot, or
Yeah, so 5 combat deployments between Iraq and Afghanistan.
what was that like?
Enjoyable, actually. Most people would be surprised, but when you deploy, like you're there with your team, your platoon, your company, and everything, you know what you're doing from day 1 to day 365. Like somebody's going to tell you this is what's going on, this is what you're doing. And the best part for me, because I mean every deployment's different. I mean there's good, there's bad, but I like seeing the different cultures.
Yeah,
I mean, it didn't matter if you went to the same place 2 years later, it was going to be different.
that's pretty cool. It's
I mean, the news doesn't do it justice downrange. I mean, when you step into like Afghanistan, it's like stepping into the Bible, the way that people live over there.
yeah, it's definitely a different. It's a totally different way of life. The news is spin it up a totally different way too. You know, but all to feed the machine. But when you're actually experiencing it, and I got deployed once, and the thing about it too is it is enjoyable because you're there doing your job and it feels purposeful. Like if I would have been, spent my whole enlistment like stateside, like I'd still be proud of it, but at the same time, like when you add the deployment to it, it makes it feel like, all right, I went and did this. It's this thing you got to knock out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, there's bad times for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely days you wish you could forget and didn't happen.
Yeah.
But you've got a purpose while you're there.
Yeah, for sure.
And
man.
everybody's got the same purpose. So the bonds and the friendships you build on those deployments, they'll last a lifetime.
100%. Did you have any like tough situations you ran into over there?
Yeah, I mean, being route clearance, especially once we started doing route clearance, you were the first one on the routes.
So you're looking for like
roadside bombs and IEDs.
Oh.
So sometimes you find them and get rid of them. Sometimes you find them the way you don't want to find them, and they go boom.
Sometimes they find you.
Yep, exactly. So it makes for some rough days, but somebody's got to do it. So all the people that were going to drive down that road after you, you had to really focus in and pay attention to what you were doing, because other people's lives outside of your own group, their lives were in danger if you missed something not paying attention.
Damn. So that was a part of like the engineering field you were in.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. You wouldn't think like getting into engineering, you're going to be like looking for IEDs and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
really.
saying?
So really like 05's when it really started. It was kind of everybody was on their own, just driving the roads. But the IEDs became the biggest threat.
Yeah.
Whether you were in Iraq or in Afghanistan. So they spent millions of dollars for new vehicles to take a bigger blast.
Yeah.
Just for us to drive to look for them.
Damn, man. Which I guess when it comes to it, you know, you talked about the positives, just like the Brotherhood, and, you know, you're there doing your job. What place was like, because I'm thinking back on a podcast with Seth from TAC B. What was more difficult, Afghanistan or Iraq?
So, I mean, for different reasons, I'm going to say Iraq. Not because of I'm taking out the war piece of it, just being there. I would go to Afghanistan, whether it was 10 times worse deployment over going to Iraq.
Really?
Because 140 degrees is for the birds.
Yeah, that's hot as hell.
I mean, yeah. I know you was in the Air Force, and they gave you some air conditioning. They didn't give us no AC in 03.
Hey, the AC went out one time, okay? I had to sleep on my mattress out on the sidewalk. But, you know, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. 03 in Iraq, we were in a canvas tent with no AC, no electric.
Yeah.
I mean, the only breeze was from a hole in the side of it.
I'm looking out the window and like the trailers, like,
yeah.
Oh, sucks for them. You know? Yeah, that's funny, man.
And then we look, because we actually spent a lot of time on a Talil airfield in Iraq that year. And you walk down the street and you see all the basically condos that the Air Force was in, and you're just like, man, my decisions.
Yeah. Man, you know, sorry. Hey, they just hook it up, man. No, but that's pretty funny. I will say, talking to Seth, he was just like, you know, comparatively, he said there was rough experiences both places. He said just Iraq was just a lot of death, you know, just like wide, you know, on a bigger scale. And he said so that he'd go to Afghanistan over Iraq any day. Yeah,
dependent on the year. We had some rough years in Afghanistan too.
Yeah,
Kind of, it really depended, though. I mean, Afghanistan was a totally different experience because if you got outside their little villages or towns, like, they didn't even know who you were. We went places in the mountains where they thought we were Russians because the last people they seen that looked like us was in the 80s.
Just a different uniform.
Just in the mountains of the middle of nowhere, these people that in 60 years haven't went more than 5 miles from the mud house they grew up in.
That's kind of crazy to think about. Here we are. We've traveled all over the world. You know, and these people haven't left like that distance.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I travel farther today than some of them travel their whole life.
That's insane. Isn't that crazy? Damn. Yeah. So it's a perspective shift. That's for sure. You know, what's crazy for me is like, even being in Asia, like Cambodia and stuff, you notice those people are very content though. And it's wild when you like our stateside, and this isn't everybody. I think, you know, I talked about this before, like we got conditions or grew up like with what we have. So anything outside of that, it's like, or lesser than, people take for granted, but we're conditioned to be that way, right? Until you're in those positions, and then you actually get to go interact with people that are living with, I'm not going to say much less, but just in way different conditions, and they're good. Like they, you know, like 100%. They're not concerned with like their phone service going down.
Yeah, I mean, we always want more.
Yeah,
here in America, like they just want to survive over there.
Yeah,
but as far as the quality of people, I mean, I tell so many people, and it blows their mind. Like, if you're gonna take everything I have today, the clothes off my back, and just dump me someplace, dump me in the mountains of Afghanistan.
Be good to go.
Like 90% of the people over there are gonna give you the last scrap of food, their last piece of clothing. They're going to make sure you're good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's 10% that want to chop your head off. But,
yeah,
I mean, here in the States, most places, you just drop somebody, people are going to drive by and honk their horn and throw you the deuces and keep going.
Yeah, and there's people here that want to chop your head off, too. I mean,
that's true.
The reality. Yeah, and there's so many of them, you don't know who's going to be the one to do it. So, man, that's it sounds like you had a solid time, though. You did 23 years, right? Okay.
23.
Damn, that's a long time.
It is, but
you're
it goes
committed.
by fast.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
there's some really, really long days. Like a deployment might be a year, but in our field, you stayed so busy every day. You were going and going and going.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, the year's over.
When did you get out?
2021
Okay, so
was
just
when I retired. Yeah,
not
4
long
years ago.
Damn. Is that why 23 years? You just didn't want to do 30, or you're just kind
Nope.
of
So where I was at a point where I was going to end up having to go to Sergeant Major Academy and get promoted again, and that was going to equal another 5 to 6 years. Changes in the military, where they were kind of going a different direction than how I felt they should, and I had a young, like 7-year-old at the house at that point.
Yeah.
My older kids, I missed most of them growing up, so wasn't going to miss it again. It was time to go coach Little League and throw my boots over the power line.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, was it pretty difficult, I guess, fatherhood and mixing like what you were doing? I guess you could say was that a struggle for you, like wearing the dad hat and the home hat?
Yeah, I mean, at times it definitely was. Especially coming back from a deployment and then just hitting the brakes.
Mentally, you're still there.
Yeah, and how do you slow down?
Yeah. Damn, very different scenarios. But even then, like, I get home from work and I do everything, and it's hard. Like this, all this doesn't really turn off, right?
Yeah,
so how do you you got to be very intentional.
You come back from deployment where every day is life or death.
Yeah.
If not for you, for somebody that's under your command. And trying to slow down to just normal is just a hard task. You're just walking around. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah. Well, we're about to, after we cut this out, so you had a long career, obviously, did some shit, and you built a family and all that stuff then, and you retired in 2021. So it's going to be interesting to hear, like, that shift from military, where you just do your job and everything's taken care of, essentially.
Pretty much.
Like, hey, now you're in real life, figure it out. Hell yeah. Well, that's the thing is, like, people talk about there's no such thing as perfect. You can't be perfect. Why exhaust yourself trying to be perfect? And it's like, here's my understanding of it. It's like, I know I'm not going to be perfect, but why the hell not try to make things as perfect as possible? Like, with the understanding that, like, it's not going to be perfect. There's so many variables in life. But, like, for example, I'll look at people that do. Have you seen the movie Free Solo?
Mm-mm.
Alex Honnold, he does the free climbing, right? No ropes or anything. I mean, the dude just climbs cliffs. And there's people out there that do that. There's another movie called The Alpinist. I'm due to watch it. It fires me up. Like, these dudes are climbing these massive things. And it's like, if it's not perfect, they fall and die.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at it. I'm like, but they have to do that perfect, or like the closest they can get to it. So, and they're able to achieve something really great. Like, to be able to do that, it's just astonishing. It's powerful to me. Like, that's something I don't want to try. I don't want to climb thousands of feet with no ropes. Like, I just don't have that skill set. It's just not a desire of mine, but I admire it so much because I'm like, dude, it's just, why not strive for perfection? Because that's going to force you to do the best you can always, right?
I mean, keep chasing it. If you chase perfection and everything you do, you're trying to be perfect. You might not be perfect at the end of the day, but you're going to be great.
Yeah. You just can't beat yourself.
If you chase greatness, you're just going to be mediocre.
Yeah, exactly, man. So I guess that's the whole thing, but also being aware of, like, I think for me, it's been learning a lesson at the end of this past year. It's like, I always have chased that, but the problem was that, like, I wasn't able to recognize any kind of success. So everything was just like, just go forward, grind. Like, it didn't matter if it was great or not. Like, I just was striving for that perfection. So I've had to understand it, like, why I'm going to strive for it with the understanding that nothing's ever going to be perfect. The only thing that's perfect in my eyes is, like, my wife and daughter. They're
100%.
perfect to me, 100%. And other than that, though, like, nothing ever is going to be, and that's okay. But still going to push for it.
Yeah, if you keep chasing it, you never know what doors are going to open.
Exactly, man. I think it's just how you look at things, the perspective or the lens you look through it. So, anyways, some value for you guys. We were talking for a little while off camera. We got plenty of time. We're good. Anyways, You ready to rock and roll?
Let's go.
All right, man. So we were discussing a little bit of your military. Guys, there's some top secret stuff y'all can't know about. I got the info, but he can't share with y'all. That's how badass he is. I'm like, he's like, dude, stop. You can't know, okay? But anyways, so getting out of the military in 2021, probably very interesting time too, because right after COVID, like the world was just different anyways. I don't know if that was much of a difference.
Well, it was perfect timing for me.
You have to get
I got to dodge a shot.
Okay, cool. I was going to ask. I was like, did you submit? That's really good though. I mean, some people, if y'all support it, it's not my thing, but hey, to each their own.
Well, I mean, if I wasn't retired, I'd have took the shot. That's just the Army I grew up in. They say you're going to get the shot. Well, you take your top off and they give you a shot.
Hey, basic training, man. I remember walking through a line. I don't know. I don't remember what they shot me with. It was. That's what everybody else was doing in there. So
I didn't want 12 anthrax shots either. But they said get your shot. I got it.
Get those anthrax shots. They're good for you. No, but that's interesting. But so I guess fast forward to then, you're taking us down a pretty big part of your journey. But it seems as if since you've gotten out, there's been a lot of changes.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So we're retiring in 2021.
Okay.
We had already decided before my retirement date, really July of 2020 till July of 2021, I got to spend a lot of time working on my transition out of the Army.
Oh, really?
So I came out of the first sergeant seat.
Did you go reservist? You were joined reserve, so you went active.
Yeah,
obviously.
I was active at that point still. So once I went active in 01, I was active the rest of the time.
Okay.
But 2020, I come out of the first sergeant seat, and they're like, all right, you've got the next 12 months, really like 9 months of terminal leave, getting out early, just to finish all your tasks, get all your physicals done, take care of you, do any schooling you want to do.
Do some self-care.
At that point, I'd already figured out that we were starting a hunting outfitter. So me and my battle buddy from 20 years ago started a hunting outfitter in Kentucky, started leasing land, started advertising, brought people on guided hunts for deer, turkey, and bear.
Did he retire before this, or y'all get out around the same time?
He got medically retired in 2005.
Okay.
Yeah, so he got hurt, so he'd been out. He has a home health care business up in Iowa.
Okay.
So he was doing well there. I had retirement and VA benefits, so we had the ability to start the hunting outfitter, and it wasn't what was putting food on the table per se. So we could go all in on it, and it was either going to work or it wasn't.
Did y'all have a plot of land up there up that way?
Yeah. So I had the 50 acres I'd bought, and then I had a couple leases, and then we bought 107 acres. And then we just kept leasing it from there to where we were up to 4,000 acres.
Damn. You still got that land?
About 3,000 of it. So we let one lease go this year.
I'm just trying to get 20 acres, man.
Yeah. So, and I mean, it's everything from timber to ag fields. Just depends on the lease. But we got lots of land to cover. So we did the guided hunts for 4 seasons in a row. Met a lot of great people. That's where I met Chris at.
Okay.
He's been a client for 3 years.
Had he been into hunting prior?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay,
So he's liked hunting. Him and a buddy from down closer to Chattanooga came up 3 years ago for the first time. This year, 2024, Chris finally killed his first deer up there. He missed the other years.
Sucks.
He got it done finally.
That's good though.
He killed a good deer this year.
Nice. Hell yeah. What's the thing about hunting for you, man? Have you done it your whole life?
Yep, pretty much. I mean, my dad was a hunter. He grew up on the farm, so I was busy as a kid between sports and different things, but still loved to get out and hunt. And then as I got older, it just became more and more of a passion. For me, that's my happy spot. I mean, everyone's got to have their happy place.
Yeah.
But the woods is a different type of happy place for me. I mean, from deployments and all the struggles of regular life, I go get in a tree and watch the sun come up and God's greatest creation wake up.
Hell yeah.
That's my happy place.
Yeah. We were talking about that before we started recording,
100%.
Man. It's just, like I said, I started to get chills just because it's such a powerful moment, that shift from the sun rising and stuff. It just feels so good, man. Plenty of hunts I walked away empty handed, but I was like, this is a good day. good start to my day, man. Let's get after it.
Yeah, and then I mean, I'm a big archery hunter. Very
Okay.
rarely do I take a gun out to hunt.
Okay.
I prefer the sport of using a bow. I mean,
Yeah.
I watch a lot of things I don't get to shoot because they're too far away, but
Yeah.
you learn a lot, and it's more rewarding.
Eventually something I don't want to get into. I had a guy on my podcast. I think he's from Kentucky. His name's Jeff Bergholz. He owns a gym here in Nashville. And I only bring this up because he was like, he won some like big turkey calling competition
Oh, wow.
in Kentucky. Like he's known for that up there. I don't know. I don't know if you're involved with any of that. I don't know if that's like a cult or anything.
We do.
Just kidding.
Turkey hunting is almost a cult. Like I turkey hunt, but the people that really turkey hunt, they get a little obsessed over it.
Damn. So, yeah. And if you're like, if you're known for turkey calling, like you must be deep in the turkey cult then.
Yeah.
I'm asking.
I'm definitely not known for my turkey calling.
Okay. I was just wondering.
I kill plenty of them, but
Okay.
I can work a call, but not like those guys.
Yeah, if you were a part of the group internally, you may know this guy, but never mind. Anyways, small world. We already have some mutual acquaintances, so figured I might try that one. But yeah, man, like you said, it's your happy place, and it's a powerful place to be. And so, obviously, though, doing the Outfitter, that was a passion project.
Yeah, and I mean, we got to share what we love to do with other people.
Yeah.
From people that were avid hunters to people that didn't really hunt that much, and they just wanted to go hunting.
Yeah.
Or they didn't have a place to hunt, or they just wanted to come out of state to hunt. It was a good time. We met a lot of great people. Met a lot more good people than we did bad.
Yeah.
While doing the hunting outfitter. For
sure, man. And so what brought that to a close? You said it didn't bring food on the table. I know you had like probably, the benefits and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it was okay, and it took care of itself. It wasn't a huge money maker. Yeah. I mean, we weren't losing money, but we were going to the outdoor expos every year, 5 or 6, 7 or 8 big outdoor expos. Mm-hmm. And you start looking around and you see what's really selling at the outdoor expos. And it's either a clothing line that might just be t-shirts, hoodies, and hats, or the camo brands. Like everybody's buying new camo. Everybody's buying more camo each year, or the newest, latest, greatest. And 20 years ago, that was our dream. We wanted to create this camo brand and didn't know how. So
yeah,
last July we started researching, and I told my partner Dave, I said, hey, we had the right idea 20 years ago. We need to figure this out. We're in a place where we can figure it out. Oh, and he wasn't real sure, and he's like, I think you're right, but how are we going to do it? I said, yeah, I'll figure it out. So lots of screen time from Google, finding manufacturers, and then it was like, well, we got to make a camo brand. We got to come up with a pattern. So then it was YouTube to figure out how to take Photoshop and create what I wanted.
YouTube would teach you a lot of shit.
So lots of playing, and came up with the pattern, found some manufacturers, and once we locked in with manufacturers, designed what we wanted the clothes to be. So I kind of wanted to mimic like the Army's extreme cold weather system.
Yeah.
But with better materials.
Heck yeah, man.
So I thought I had a kind of a special skill set from being in the desert to being 12,000 feet above sea level in the mountains of Afghanistan in the snow. Like
some variety.
I thought I knew what it needed to be as far as quality to take the abuse of hunting.
Yeah.
And to keep you warm.
Yeah.
So we went after it, started designing, and now we're just waiting on some last prototypes for sizes to be right, and then we're going to start taking pre-orders.
Hell yeah, man.
I mean,
dude, their camo's so good, guys. You came in that.
Yeah, the hoodie.
In the hoodie, and I didn't see this man. He's like, well, how tall are you?
6'4".
He's 6'4". I didn't even see him until he stuck his hand out to shake mine. I was like, whoa, dude, you popped out of nowhere.
Straight invisible.
So that's how good it is. Not even a human being can see it. So just understand that you're going to want to buy this stuff. I know that's the avenue I'm going. All my camo is going to be you guys. So
awesome.
Yeah, dude, I'm in. You've got me sold already. We're done.
Come get it. But yep, we just been pushing on the grind since I started working on it.
Hell yeah. So you're waiting on some prototypes. What's that process been like? I mean, did you already have some stuff y'all were setting up and selling elsewhere just to build the name, or what?
Nope. So July it started. We started getting people making the prototypes by late September. which we knew we were going to be like 2 months out on the first prototypes.
Yeah.
Because, mind you, they are a clothing company. They only make clothing, but I had something special I wanted made out of specific fabrics, pockets the way I wanted them, waterproof zippers, the whole 9 yards.
Hell yeah.
So we just kept going. But December, we were getting close to getting samples. So in December, I started all my social media pages and started just pushing content with what I did have.
Nice.
To build the brand awareness, did giveaways of our branded gear. And then we kept going. As much content as I could put out. We got our samples from the one manufacturer in, and they were great. And then the manufacturer making really the beans and potatoes of the whole thing, they took a little longer because they were working outside of what they typically make.
Yeah.
But quality came in great, like better than I expected, honestly. Like to a T. There was one mistake on pockets that turned out to be an awesome mistake. I mean, they added an extra pocket where I didn't really plan on a pocket, but fell in love with it. I don't think anybody else has double chest pockets on a coat anywhere out there, but
Not that I can think of.
It's pretty amazing how the mistake worked out on their part.
Yeah, you're like, dude, look at all these things I could store.
I mean, only problem was some sizing stuff. So
Yeah,
remeasured, freaking gave them every measurement I could possibly give them. So I think these next ones that just shipped out on Friday, they're on their way, will be perfect.
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to start our actual pre-orders, which we'll do a big discount on. And then I've got my camera guy ready with the drones and everything to get to the farm to get some good footage together for marketing purposes.
Heck yeah, dude. I'm excited to see that. You know, the apparel world is can get pretty tricky, especially when you start going into specialty stuff. You know, I remember because obviously the shirts and hats, like, yeah, it's pretty simple. But once you start going into new gear, because I tried to get more women specific stuff too. So sports bras, the shorter shorts, leggings, all that stuff. I mean, it can get pretty, because people can be pretty picky.
Yeah.
And like styles vary so much, and it can get be a lot to handle.
And every manufacturer is different.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You can't just.
Most of them are overseas.
Yep. You can't just tell them a size and you ask for just a 2X. You don't know what it's going to be when it shows up. Yeah. You might get something that's too big, or you might get the Temu version that's freaking youth large.
Oh, yeah.
You just never know. So we had to build our own sizing chart.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, good thing you had multiple hands on that. I know I typically get like next level shirts, right? And but there was a while there, like I'd order an XL in this order, and the next order I'd order the same shirt, but they'd come from 2 different factories overseas, and they just fit different.
Yep.
And like me, maybe some people don't notice, but me, I'm like, oh my God, it's a totally different. Like, I'm emailing, I'm like, is this the wrong shirt? And like, why does it fit this way? They're like, no, it just came from a different man. Like, what do you do about that?
Yeah, so we kind of we build our own chart all the way up. So, and I used people I know to get those measurements. So I wasn't just pulling measurements off the internet. We tried that the first time, it didn't work. So
how's it been working with your battle buddy? Like,
yeah, so everything was going great till January 5th. He actually passed away. He took his own life out of the blue. So that was like a big stopping point. I mean, we're in the middle of launching a new brand, and he passes away. So, I mean, I took a solid week. I went from posting every day, and I didn't post for a week.
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of posted that something had happened, but I didn't go into details out of respect for the family. So then I went to Iowa, got helped with the family. I mean, he left 5 kids behind, a wife, another business. So he's number 16 for me. So suicide-wise, he's the 16th person. Never anybody that was like my best friend, but coworkers in the Army, soldiers in the Army. I mean, it's mental health. Obviously, it's everywhere on the news. It's a big deal for military.
That's heartbreaking too. You did 23 years, so obviously that makes more sense too.
But I mean, Dave was like my person. I mean, obviously your wife and your kids are your people. Yeah. But Dave's that one person I talk to every day.
And you just didn't expect it?
Nope.
Damn.
No, I mean, his mom had just passed away, so I mean, we knew there was some rough things going on, but he was in a good place. He was excited about the brand, and then just boom, got the phone call. So it was a shocker for sure.
Mm.
And it was the Sunday before my daughter's wedding, so that was a rough week.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you're still feeling it, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good weekend though.
Yeah,
Like him passing away the following weekend, my daughter getting married. Like I found peace that weekend.
yeah.
Because leading up to that weekend, I mean, I was in the dumps. Every emotion you could have, from
Anxious as hell,
pissed off at the world to asking why, which is the hard part. I mean, as far as suicide goes.
Yeah, because a lot of times you don't get any answers.
Nope, you're never going to get the answers you want, at least.
Yeah, damn, that just breaks my heart. If you don't mind me asking, you can or cannot answer this. What would you say to him today if you could?
If I could see him today, I'd kick him. I'd give him a hug first. Dave was a big hugger. Whenever you've seen him, he's going to give you a hug.
I
just told his wife that last week, actually. Like, if heaven works the way I want it to work, and I get to see all those people again when I get up there, I'm going to give them a hug, tell them I love them, and then I'm going to beat the ever living crap out of them.
Yeah. He probably looking down like, damn it, man.
So
he's waiting for he's waiting for an ass kicking.
Tell him I love him, but then he's going to take it.
Hell yeah, man. But I mean, that sounds like the epitome of y'all's relationship, though, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, like I said, it was that first couple of weeks up until the wedding. Like, Dave was my guy. Like I said, like I'd get in the truck to go somewhere, I called Dave.
Yeah.
First phone call every time I got in the vehicle. So for that first week, I didn't drive nowhere. Like I started going to the gym again at Thanksgiving time. I was like, I got to go to the gym and work this off. I'm just mad. I got to go to the gym. Go out, start the truck, just turn the truck off because I didn't want to drive because I couldn't call him.
If you could only just made it to the gym's a good way to kind of turn the noise off, man. Especially if you're going high speed.
100%.
That's why I started doing my burpees. I'm on almost 76,000 burpees, man. I do, but I'll get in the zone, do 300 or 400, but that's like the only way to get my mind to stop thinking, because I'm just focused on burpees repetitively.
Well, I mean, burpees suck enough to forget about everything else.
That's the thing, but they've kind of become part of me. I'm going for $1 million, by the way. I tell everybody this, but
total or just
total
a year?
No. This is the year. No, hell no. Yeah, no. I'm going. My goal is a minimum 1,000 a week, so that's where I'm at. Just crushing it. But
I mean, you could just set up and go for the most burpees in 24 hours.
I'm going to do the hour first. So the hour is like 1,000. So I'm going to beat that.
I'll hold the camera.
Yeah. Once I hit 100,000, I'm going to go for the hour milestone.
I'll run the video. The burpees are on you.
All right, deal. Hey, man, that's my thing right there. So, but that said, not about me. I love, talking about my burpees. I'm just like hooked on them. It's weird. But the fact of the matter is that like, I think it's very important to point out like that fitness or just training in general is such a powerful outlet for every emotion, really.
Yep. No, for sure. I mean, I've got not only emotions, just your well-being in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a friend who's a client who comes up to hunt, who is from Georgia, who owns 3 gyms actually. Not like your typical stereotypical gym where you just show up and throw weights around. There are mini gyms inside of a gym, so it's all one-on-one personal training. Sweet. He's a life coach, and that's his big thing is you got to be fit and in shape to do what you want to do when you're like 80. Yeah. It's like find your why and then get in shape to do it.
Yeah, I think it's just a standard of just being alive. I think across the board everybody should exercise. Like that's just the bare minimum you can do for yourself as a human being.
Oh, yeah. I mean, after retiring, I fell into my own trap of, I'm going to take a month off from working out.
That happens a lot.
And mind you, I've done it my whole life from before the Army and then through the Army. And I'm like, I'm just going to take a break. Well, that break just extended to like a 3-year hiatus.
I talk to a lot of guys that do that. They fall into that trap.
And I would say, well, next month.
Why do you think?
Where I was always the person, I was real busy running the business. And I was like, well, I'm working on the farms enough. I'm staying in shape. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, I'm getting fat. The retirement body's been here long enough. So finally I took my own advice that I gave everybody my whole life, and there's no time like the present. Like if you make an excuse why you don't want to do something, whether it's the gym or anything, next month you can make the same excuse.
Damn right.
So
I used to have a shirt that said start yesterday on the back. Start yesterday, man. Like there's.
I mean, I used to be that person and preach it.
Yeah.
And then I retired, and life took priority. Like I didn't have to do it, so I've been consistent. Like a standard. Yep, I've been consistent since Thanksgiving.
That's good, man. Hell yeah! So you're crushing it now.
Yeah,
you're just on a roll.
Yeah, it's part of life again.
I'm gonna check on you.
As soon as you start, you can't miss it.
I'm gonna text you and be like, "Hey, did you do your burpees today?" You're like, "Damn it, no, not that."
No, I haven't done burpees yet. I've skipped out on them since I put my CrossFit shoes away.
Well, think about it though. I don't know. What was your friend's name again?
Dave.
So Dave, man, rest in power, Dave. Obviously you carry a spirit with you, and I feel like that probably, personally, that probably helps fuel you in the gym and stuff like that. Maybe just subconsciously, right? Like you got this thing y'all started together, and then, well, before we get into that, what was it like trying to figure out, okay, now I'm going to do this brand and all this other stuff that I had him there for? Like that's got to be pretty tough too.
Yeah. I mean, the day of was like, and the next few days was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Do I want to keep pushing to do this?
Yeah.
Or do I just want to fall back on retirement? And because I mean, I don't need it for the money.
Yeah.
My wife's got a good job. It wasn't like do or die. This is a dream to do something greater rather than going to a 9-to-5, for example, just because you have to.
Yeah.
The bills are already paid.
Yeah.
So I could have walked away from it and it wouldn't have changed anything other than I quit. So I let the dust settle and then got back to work. Left me some hurdles, obviously. Had to learn to do some stuff in the business side that I didn't know before.
Yeah.
And then find some more funding options. But I had a lot of people helping and pushing. I mean, Chris, for example, called me like 5 days after Dave passed. He's like, "Hey, whenever the dust settles, brother, I got you. Whatever you need, I'm going to help you get there."
That's a good person. That's good.
He's like, it was your dream, and we're going to make sure it happens.
See it through.
Yep, for sure.
Hell yeah. I love that, man. Like you said, too, you thought you had, you said this off camera, you thought you had a lot smaller circle than you did. And then that situation forced you to realize that you got a lot more people in your life than you ever knew.
100%. People that were acquaintances, maybe friends, but not those real close friends. They all stepped up real quick.
Yeah.
And whatever you need, man, I got you. Just call me.
Yeah. It's hard to, and I can't speak for anybody in that situation, but, one thing I try to do just in everything I've ever been through in my life is like, okay, what can I learn from it? I mean, and at the end of the day, if you may not get some answers, but you can at least find a lesson there and gain value from that, right? And use it towards something positive.
Yep.
No matter, and as fortunate as whatever the event is, in so many aspects of life, it sucks to have to look at that with certain situations, but like that's the only way to move forward. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's changed ways I look at certain parts of life. Like I said earlier, Dave was my person.
Yeah.
He was my best friend, more of a brother really than a friend even.
Yeah.
He was always there. Knew me at my best and knew me at my worst.
Yeah.
Like you may go a lifetime and not find a friend you've got that connection with. So.
Oh yeah.
And then he was gone. So, but other than that, he was definitely one of the best human beings I've ever known. Like the only have you ever known that person? Like you met him for like 2 hours at a roadside stop and all of a sudden you felt that was your best friend. Like, that's just how Dave touched other people.
That's cool.
Like if he had it, he was giving it to somebody else if they needed it.
That's cool.
I mean, from clients that were hunting clients that spent a weekend with him, he was like their best friend. So Dave was a lot of people's best friend.
Yeah.
So I've met a lot of people since his passing. And
you were his best friend.
Well, I like to think I was, but I've met a lot of people over the phone that have called me that he was their best friend. They haven't ever met me, but they've called me just because they're struggling with losing Dave. And I'm the closest thing they know to Dave, I guess, or the person he was really close with. So I've met a lot of people through phone calls.
Do you correct them and be like, actually, we're best friends, but anyways, I'm just kidding.
But I mean, it was just an eye-opening experience because he didn't just leave a big hole in my life by leaving. Like, he left a big hole in the world. So me and my wife were talking about it on one of those ugly days right afterwards, and I was like, the world is a darker place.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost one of the truly genuine best people I've ever known.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to be a better person. So I've kind of taken that and tried, not just in helping people that surrounded Dave, but trying to be a better person.
Yeah.
What would Dave do in this situation, rather than what would I do initially, which would be just turn around the other way in some cases. Like, not going to turn a blind eye to someone in need. That's not me.
Yeah.
But Dave's that person that he's seen the best in every person.
That's cool.
Like, I'm the person, when I go in a restaurant, 2 minutes later, I'll tell you how many exits there are and which person I'm most likely I'm going to have to stab with a fork to get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Dave's seen the best in people up front. So try to take a little piece of Dave and make the world a better place.
Man, that's really cool. Yeah, that's badass. I think it's had as tough as it's been for you, it's also had a profound effect on who you are and who you're becoming. And I think it adds a very powerful layer to the brand, because it's more than that. Y'all had the Camo brand, and it's like y'all's dream, but it's more than a dream. If that makes sense.
Yep, for sure. And
it has this very powerful story and layer to it that as you grow, more people are going to understand. It's just going to add that much more of an impact to what you're doing. And I think that's a beautiful thing, So the only way to look at it, really.
Yeah, I mean, like our branded hoodies that have the same logo that's on my hat on it.
Yeah.
I went back in when I ordered more hoodies and put a little flag at the top of the mountain that's got his initials on it.
Hell yeah.
Just kind of as a legacy to him, on top of the mountain, just a flag there. Couldn't figure out how to add him to it, so got with the artist, and we added a little flag like somebody climbing a mountain would add to the peak.
Super cool, man. That's awesome, dude. Well, I think you're handling it well, as well as you can.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of practice. It's been rough, but actually talking about Dave makes it easier. So I have told his story a whole lot since. Like, the month of February, I did a 48-mile ruck march challenge with Mission 22 and raised about $2,500 to go towards veteran suicide.
Hell yeah.
Which all that walking was a whole lot of time to reminisce and think things through also.
That's good. Yeah, man. Activities like that definitely add to it.
I've spent 2 weeks now in Iowa. I went up like a week and a half later to help with some initial stuff with the family. Yeah. And then I went back up a week and a half ago now. I went up and went to his hunting property and got all his stands down and took care of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's talking about it's the key that you pointed out. I think in a lot of situations like this, and a lot of times with veterans, there's that when you don't talk about it, you isolate yourself. When you bottle things in, you isolate yourself. You cut off relationships. I'm not saying he did that, but I'm just saying in general, with not expressing things comes isolation, and that just takes you in a deeper hole. And I think it's very important. I always appreciate when people come on here and are willing to talk about those, especially on camera, in front of those about those heavy subjects like loss or like veteran, military experiences that were hard or something, because you're talking about it, someone else is hearing it, and then they relate with that and they connect with it, and then they're going to talk about it. And I see it's just like it's just like a trickle effect. Like, talking about it does so much for other people too. So not only does it help you work through the things, but it helps other people feel like it's okay for them to work through those things.
Oh, for sure. I mean, historically, I'm not the talker. I'm the shut the door on it, compartmentalize it, and get back to work. But
I could see that.
I recognized right off the bat, like, Dave was too big for that. There wasn't a door in Fort Knox that was gonna hold that one in.
Yeah.
If I would have tried to hold that one in, something bad would have happened.
Hell yeah.
To some random person in Walmart. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it would have come out in not a good way. So I actually started talking right off the bat about it.
Yeah.
Which is different for me, but I can attest that it has made it easier.
Well, there's a lot of growth, man. Yeah, man, that's a lot of growth. Well, I'm excited to see what's ahead for you. Is his family involved with your business at all? Or like y'all working together?
So they're following it and everything. They're not involved per se. His youngest daughter, who's in college, actually asked to intern for me to do marketing.
Nice.
So this summer, hopefully she's going to come. She's already got a social media presence.
Yeah.
She's a creator already. Nice. So
hey,
I will definitely use that younger creator and her brain to put some more together, some more content.
It's a lot to keep up with. Yeah, for sure, man. It's always shifting too. And when did you meet your wife, by the way?
So I met my wife in 2006 when I was a drill sergeant.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then she was in the Army also. She was an instructor at the time. And then she got out in 2007 prior to when we got married.
Okay.
So we got married late 2007 and then had the 10-year-old, had the little monster that's wide open. She was born in 2014.
Oh, nice, man. And you were talking off camera. She's like, she's got a strong will.
Yep, 100%.
And you said her mom butt heads a little bit,
yep.
Which is understandable.
I mean, she's wide open for sure, and she's super smart. So she's in the gifted and talented program at school.
Nice.
And then I think that's where most her head button, whether with me or her mom, comes from a lot of times. She's just so smart but she's only 10, so she has all these emotions and don't know what to do with them sometimes.
Yeah, and then she's like, y'all don't know what y'all are talking about. I'm just kidding.
Yep. Oh, no, we're there already.
Oh, really?
She's 10 going on 18 some days.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like, from what you said, it sounds like she's a special kid, though, so you get to see that journey, too, man. That's badass. And your wife, dude, she's been a lot of support for you. I mean,
she's behind me all the way on the camo. I mean, she was there for 14 years of my military service.
Yeah.
So 3 deployments. She's a tough woman. She's inspiring. I mean, she went after the Army. She worked as a sleep technician and then went to school to be a speech pathologist and finished grad school doing that and everything. And spends her time doing therapy of kids and loves what she does.
That is awesome. And she supported you, man, believing you.
Yep, 100%.
And as a man, that's what you need right there.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
Yeah, big time.
If you're having a bad day and you got support at home, it's gonna make it better.
Dude, it'll change everything. Hell yeah. Well, as we come to a close, is there anything else you want to touch on? Is there anything that we're missing, or maybe I missed about your journey, or anything that applies to life that you would like to speak about?
So, like we hit on, mental health with veterans is big.
Yeah, let's touch on that.
I don't like to ever go and talk and not speak on it.
Okay.
Like I said, I did the Ruck March challenge. And the more it's talked about, it may not help the situation, but it may actually help one person, because there's a whole lot of nonprofits out there that try to help with veteran suicide.
Yeah.
I mean, Google it and the pages go on.
Yeah.
So personally, I think it's a problem that isn't really completely fixable, if that makes sense. Like I really like what all the organizations do and how much they try, but at the end of the day, if someone doesn't want to talk, they're not going to come look for help.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody listening is if they're having a bad day, they do reach out to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And by all means, when you post this episode, you can put my info up there as far as social medias and whatnot.
I love that.
Somebody can hit me up any time of day and I'll listen.
That's
awesome, that's the biggest thing, just talking. But if somebody is looking to start a nonprofit for some help, hit me up, because I think where all of these organizations fall short is helping the family.
Yeah.
That's something I realized with Dave. If you're on active duty or reserve component or wherever, whether it's suicide, killed downrange, car accident, like all the resources are there, right?
Yeah.
Like you got legal assistance, you got money that's coming in. But if you're out of the military already and you're just working with the VA, getting your health care, getting your benefits, and you pass away or you take your own life, there ain't nobody knocking on the door to help. All they want to do is shut that paycheck off.
Yeah.
So who's helping those families get through all the legal battles, the money issues, and just the therapy that may or may not be needed?
Yeah, and
that are left behind when they pass away or commit suicide.
That is the truth, man. And like a lot of, it's nice. It's good when the family can grieve and like you got some help taking care of the other stuff. Because a lot of stuff you don't want to have to deal with, but you have to deal with it right away.
Or you just don't know how to deal with it even.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know how to in general. And then on top of it, you're like trying to like feel what you're going through. That's a lot, man. So that's actually a good thing to point out. A lot of the families don't get help.
I mean, I think those nonprofits and those people claiming to want to help with it, that they need to put some effort into the families.
Yeah.
Of not a soldier that passes away, but a prior soldier, a veteran.
Yeah.
Because those families are floating, especially with suicide, because all those questions are left unanswered. So
yeah,
they're just treading water.
Exactly. And if you're a nonprofit and you hear this and you work specifically with families, come on and tell us about it. Yeah, we'll get it out there.
Yep,
because
definitely.
There's so many nonprofits out there for everything. I mean, even like with North Carolina stuff, all these nonprofits started, and I was talking to guys that I've been working with out there, and there's some that are come and do bare minimum just to collect a check and leave. So it's also identifying who's actually working to make an impact, on a bigger level, because unfortunately not every nonprofit's doing that.
And look and see before you donate, check into who you're donating to and see what percentage actually goes to the people you're trying to help.
Yeah. I had, David Corlew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I had him on here several weeks ago. And so, Charlie Daniels guy, and that's what he does is identify like who's actually putting the work in towards it. And so they try to get funds over to those guys. But I thought it was he even said it. There's just so many nonprofits, it's hard to keep up with, So, yeah, that's why I'm also interested when I do like an event like I've done here. I try to make it very personal. Like I try to specify like an individual or a family or something like that, people that directly need help, that I can get their story on the podcast and talk about it. So that way you can build that connection and see like, oh, well, if I invest, this is where that money's going.
Yeah,
like know for sure. It's not just some name. You don't know who's actually receiving the checks or whatever that comes in. So, yeah, I think it's very important to highlight the mental health for veterans because they need it. I think the world in general needs help in mental health big time.
Yeah, they do.
A lot of people do. But
a lot of those veterans, they put their life on hold for a long time.
That's a fact.
For the betterment of the country, no matter what reason they were deployed before, at least in their mind, for the betterment of the country.
Yep.
And I think we ought to take care of them on the backside.
110%, man. I agree with you. So whatever we can do to like get that message out there and keep pushing to support them, we're going to make it happen, my man.
Yep, that's to do it.
Yeah, and I know you're going to be doing a lot with your brand. I'm excited to see what you do. I mean, you're just getting started, dude. This is going to kick ass.
Oh, yeah. There's not no quit in me, so.
We're going to do an episode one day when your brand's on another level, too, and we're going to wear your camo.
Yep, circle back around.
But everybody's going to watch the camera and just think it's audio. They're like, guys, y'all weren't in the camera. And I'm like, oh, actually, I was wearing his brand. So, anyways, I'm just being.
We'll be invisible.
Yeah, exactly. Just see our eyes. But, anyways, Jason, thank you.
Anytime.
I do have a final question for you. You ready?
I'm ready.
What is your relentless pursuit?
So I've put a lot of thought into that and figuring out what my why is. Like, what do I want to do when I'm 80? Why at 44, retired from the Army, am I back to going to the gym, trying to get in better shape? Obviously for my family.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a given. But I've kind of, since retiring and having time to hunt, like I have a passion for bow hunting and archery hunting. Don't usually take a gun.
Yeah.
But my why and my relentless pursuit is to travel wherever I can go to hunt with my bow. I mean, I want to go to Alaska and kill a grizzly bear with my bow.
Yeah.
I would love to go to the Alaska and kill a moose with the bow. A mountain goat up in Canada, which that's a very short list of people who have killed a mountain goat with a bow because you have to get where the mountain goats are at. So,
because those guys are like sideways on mountains and stuff.
Yeah, so you can't shoot them from a mile away with the bow.
Yeah, no.
So you got to get where they're at. So that is my focus and why I want to be in good shape other than just being physically fit and healthy for my family, but I want to be able to, when I'm 80, still get out there with my bow, still put the miles on the boots, and chase those animals I want to chase.
Dude, so you embody this brand. You do. I mean, that's what it's all about, and you're going to be living that out.
100%.
Man, I'm pumped. Well, that sounds like an awesome time. Maybe one day I'll get to go to Alaska and get a grizzly with you.
Yeah, let's go.
I'll be like, yo, round 2. I can do this now. We'll make it happen. All right, man. Well, you got anything else you want to say before you part?
No, that's about it. I appreciate the time.
Jason, it's
Can't
been
wait
a blast.
to do it again.
Yes, sir. I look forward to it. Safe travels, and thank you so much for coming in, my man.
Anytime.
Yes, sir. All right. Take care.